It's always a sad day in rock and roll when we lose someone like the great Eddie Money. As we featured in our last clip where we announced his passing, we went back and found the interview we did with him last year. He was working on a brand new album, talking about his reality TV show on Access TV. When he first got that voice, or at least realized he had a voice to sing, meeting late great concert promoter, his manager, Bill Graham, and regrets he might have had. I'm John Beaudin from Rock History Music. Before we start, make sure you subscribe to our channel and click on the bell notification so you don't miss any great interviews that we feature and all the music news from Rock History Music. Our conversation with Eddie Money.
How does the TV show on Access, but tell me how that started.
We did this thing for Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban, he runs the Dallas Mavericks. He's a big promoter. He's a family man like me, and he said, really think that your wife and your kids are very talented. Would you like to do a TV show? And I thought about it. And I really wanted to help my son's career out. My son's got a band called Des Money and the Fays, and since they don't put CD players in cars anymore, I wanted to do everything for my kid's career. The show is really doing really well. A lot of people really like the show. It's been a lot of fun, and we're getting a lot of great feedback from it.
When did you know? What was the first time that someone told you, "Hey, Eddie, you got a voice here. You got to do something with that"? When did that? How old were you when that happened?
Well, I got to tell you the truth. I was singing. Chuck Berry songs and James Brown songs. Before the Beatles came out, I was about 13 or 14 years old, and I started singing with a band, and then I was in a band in high school called the Grapes of Wrath, and then I went on the police department, and they moved out to California, and I quit the police department and moved out to California, but they weren't really interested in the music business like I was, and then eventually I got a deal with Bill Graham, and that was like 40 million records ago. Well, I'll tell you, I got a new record coming out right now. I think, I got a guy named Waddy Wittel. He's a guitar player, played with Stevie Nicks. He plays with Stevie Nicks. He was out on the road with Joe Walsh. He's done all the recent stuff with Keith Richards.
Eddie's lived the life of a rock and roll star, and of course, there was excess in there quite a bit, as a matter of fact. I asked him if he had any regrets.
So, my advice right now is, I don't know if the guitar solos on the first record and stuff like that. I used to let Jimmy Lyon take off songs like Jealousy, and I let the guitar solos, extended guitar solos and stuff like that, which it brought on a lot of changes in college rock and roll radio. That's what Brian Adams told me. But I just try to get better and better. We sold close to 35 million records, and I'm very happy that I've done that. The only advice I can give anybody these days is, don't get drunk and drive your car off a bridge, and then don't get loaded and mess up your career. I think I should tell guitar players, learn your scales. If you're a singer, take some singing lessons. If you're going to really take music seriously, you really should, look at it like you would look at college course, Do
you remember your first meeting with Bill Graham?
Yes, I do. He was a great, what an amazing man. I was putting on a one-man show in San Francisco at the time, and I was very, very popular in Berkeley, California, which is a college town, and we had written Baby Hold On and 2 Tickets to Paradise, and what he wanted to do, he wanted to start a record company out. He was a great guy to help his staff. He had a lot of people working for him, and when he started his record label, all he really wanted to do was make sure that everybody in his staff got a piece of the Eddie Money record, which I thought was really amazing. He was a very giving person, He was if you would have met Bill Graham, you would have liked him, I'll tell you that right now.
It's amazing, sometimes kids today, I'll mention him and they'll say, "Who is that?" I always feel like saying, "Do you want to sit down for a little while? Because this is going to take a while."
Yeah, you got to remember, this guy was 14 years old when he walked from Berlin to Paris with 500 kids, and 250 of them died of disease or hunger before they even reached Paris. He had a really tough childhood. He was a Jewish kid out of Berlin, and he walked to Paris, and then he moved to New York. I met his sister Esther, and she still had the tattoos, the number tattoos on her arm for Auschwitz. This
wow.
was then, and he died tragically in a helicopter accident coming back from a Huey Lewis show, and he's going to be well missed. You would have really liked Bill Graham. I think a lot of people would have liked him. He was a very giving person, and he always gave back to the community, which is really great about anybody, He always took care of San Francisco. He took care of the school systems. He took care of his staff. He was a good guy. He really was.
We'll have more of our conversation with the late, great Eddie Money, our last conversation with him from last year, coming up in a couple of hours, possibly less. Make sure you comment on our video, subscribe to our channel, and share our videos. This is John Beaudin from Rocky Street Music.